Hello and welcome to Dicejesters. My name is Julie.
And my name is Dave.
And we are a merry and whimsical board gaming podcast where we dive deep into games with curious minds and, of course, a jester's grin. We enjoy featuring 10 by 10 challenges where each season we commit to playing at least 10 games, and those 10 games at least 10 times, maybe sometimes more. But today we'll be discussing our resummoning of the game's 5 tribes and parade. And Dave has been talking about a offering to the crown. But first, Dave, I know I'm sound cheery and all, but I don't come with a query of the court. So if you want, I could have maybe an apothecary bakery.
Actually, I came with a query for the court.
You came with a query for the court? How did you come from?
Somebody reached out personally and had a burning question that just had to be asked. So this comes from somebody you may be familiar with.
How would they be able to reach out personally if I'm the one that manages most of the social media?
This was actually through Patreon.
Oh, okay. That explains it. All right.
I'm on there.
Yeah, you're the Patreon.
Comes from our good friend Mike.
Oh, well, why wouldn't he have messaged me and let me know that he asked a question?
Because I think he would be afraid that you would maybe not come with this question if it were given to you.
Oh my god, it's about guinea pigs.
We'll see. We'll see what it's about. It may have to do with animals, and that's okay. But he asked, and this is for you specifically.
This is for me? So he asked me a question. Thank you, Mike.
I won't have much to add to this other than just to be here for the journey. But the question is, when will you finally accept your love for birds?
Oh my god.
And adopt Phillip?
Oh my god! I need to tell you about Phillip. Phillip and I had a moment today. But I don't have a love for birds, okay, for one. And for two,
there's
I have
a lot of birds.
Phillip.
There's a lot of bird
No,
talk.
I don't like flamingos. Do you know there's different types of flamingos? There's the greater flamingo, which is bigger than the other flamingos.
I don't know. When we were at the zoo the other day.
Oh my god.
And we walked by the flamingo exhibit.
No, because there were shoebill birds. That's what I was looking at.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't looking at the flamingos.
But there are still birds within the
Yeah, but the shoebill ones kind of have a shovel beak. So I don't count them as birds.
Okay, well, I consider myself... So you have this self-proclaimed status of somebody who doesn't love birds. I'm pretty neutral. I like birds. They're pretty cool. But there are fewer species that I know of that I love than you. You have so many species that you enjoy and you talk about, oh, I love this type of bird or that type of bird. It's more than the average person knows about birds.
Okay, well, should we get deep then? Should we talk?
Are there deep cuts?
Yeah, there's deep cuts.
Well, what's your favorite bird of all time?
My favorite bird? I've told you this.
Is it the blue, blue,
No, it's
right?
not the blue-footed booby.
It's the...
It's the scary one. You got this.
Oh, the raven.
It's a stork. No, it's a stork.
It's that weird-looking one.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the... What's the shoebill?
Yes,
the shoebill
stork. It's the shoebill stork.
It's the one that looks like it would haunt my nightmares.
Yes, I love it. It stands up. It looks like a little V-ants.
Is that 6 foot tall?
Yeah, it's probably 6 foot tall. I don't know. I could hug it. We could cuddle. No. Okay. So I liked birds.
Oh, okay. There's a dark past. This one.
Yeah. So I liked birds. I was younger. I don't know. Maybe 6, 7, 8. Let's see. My sister was 8. So how old would I have been? 10-ish. Okay. Well, I had this fascination with birds, right? Because when I was younger, well, even still now, I still ponder thoughts often, seeing as you and I don't really watch TV or anything. We kind of devote our lives to creativity in hope that we can make it a successful career.
Sure.
And so when I was younger, I would daydream a lot. My dad had taken me to a senior living home to go visit his dad, and they had a cage of birds on the inside, a lot of birds. And I remember I would sit and watch all of them. I absolutely adored them. They were the cute little colorful ones. Then fast forward, I was playing outside one day and a bird just dropped a load on me.
Oh,
I was traumatized. And then, because I touched it.
Oh,
you know how I'm okay with things, but then my hand graces it on accident, and then I do a weird face and I pause and I'm tissue.
Yeah.
Clorox bleach.
Is this kind of you used to really like slugs and then you moved here and we have a lot of slugs after it rains.
I used to adore slugs and then I moved here.
You stepped on one and ever since then you have this
Because
very
if you've ever stepped on a slug
phobia
before, oh my god.
Because we go for evening walks, and every night you make me bring a flashlight. It's just so for safety, that makes sense. But it's this like obsessive scanning of the path ahead of us to make sure that there's no slugs to step on.
Yeah, because they explode with mucus. I had that slug on the bottom of my shoe for days.
Yeah, and it gets all sticky and...
Yes! And then leaves pile up. I have a valid reason for not enjoying slugs no mas. Okay?
It's fair. I don't know if I've ever stepped on one before.
Okay, well, maybe I'll not let you dodge it. Maybe I won't pay attention.
Maybe more careful. That's what you need to be.
No, I was careful, but...
And apparently don't look up, because, birds can be flying above you, too.
Okay. Well, here's the story.
There's more?
That made me not like birds.
Oh, okay.
So it's a bit dark. So when I was younger, I was playing outside, and I had heard tweeting as if it wasn't danger, And this is coming from the girl who used to save dragonflies from spider webs, or just anything that would be in a spider web. I would take it out of the web and set it free. And the girl that, like, if there was somebody who had squirrel traps, I would release the squirrel. I was an animal saver.
Traps?
In Wisconsin, they do. Heard the bird. Knew it was a call for help. So I'm going, and I was young, I was 10, so I didn't know that if something was wrong with the bird, or if it couldn't fly, or if it was ready to fly, that the mother bird kind of pushes it out the nest. I didn't know any of this, right? Well, that little bird got shoved out its home and landed straight on the ground on its face. I was like, huh?
Oh, no.
I was like, oh my god, this poor bird. And then the mother was like, quack, 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 quack. And I was like, oh my god, you just pushed your baby out the nest. So then I grabbed it and put it back in the nest with leaves, because I knew enough to know that I couldn't get my scent on it. So I had grabbed it and put it back in the nest, and then it pushed it out. Did it like 4 more times, and I was like, oh my god, this baby's just getting beat.
That had to like be buried deep within your psyche, that experience.
It is. So then I was just like, I don't like robins because they just push babies out their nest, but lots of birds do that. Anywho, so then I felt the motherly urge at 10 years old to care for this bird, right? And teach it to fly. And so I named it Baby Bird. No, I named it Little Bird. That's its name. Like Lil Bird. Little Bird. Like Lil Wayne, but Little Bird. And so I brought it inside, and my family was like, you're not having a bird. I was like, well, he can't fly.
What am I supposed to do with the bird?
I know. I'm like, I can't just let him die out there. And they're like, how do you know it's a him? And I was like, I just know. And they're like, okay, well, you have to feed it and stuff. So I went and got like worms, and my stepdad yelled at me because he was like, you can't give a bird a full worm. And I was like, oh. And then I like looked outside, and I watched how the mama bird would like peck at a worm, right? And I was like, okay. So then I cut the worm into little pieces with the scissors, the fixture scissors that, every mom's like, don't use my scissors. Anyway, so I would cut this worm, and the worm would still be moving. And then I didn't realize that you had to put like gravel in it because little birds can't digest properly.
Oh, no.
So then this is the morbid part. So like if y'all are squeamish, maybe skip forward 10 seconds. But as I was feeding it, the worms crawled out of its throat.
Ew.
And it was eating it from the inside.
Oh.
And now I'm just traumatized.
Wow.
So then I watched it die.
Oh my god.
It was so sad.
I don't know how to recover from this story.
Well, that's why I said fast forward. You're like, I couldn't fast forward.
I'm living this in the real life.
Yeah, but I was so sad.
That...
My sister got really badly hurt in the same time span, right? And I cried over the bird. It's just like a little bird.
I think this proves that you love birds because you were so saddened by this experience.
Right, and
but
my
you
psyche...
that motherly care for the bird to begin with, that you would take it into your home and
I
feed
do it
it
for all
worms
animals.
Well, yeah, but I think Mike is on something that you need to accept your love for birds. You're like the bird mother. That's your calling in the universe.
Please don't start that.
Yeah. Hashtag
bird mother.
Yeah.
No, so now I just don't like birds because I'm like hurt. But
it's the worms that you don't like. It's not the birds. I think that I'm onto something here. It's the worms. It's the slugs.
Is this therapy or board games?
Yeah. I swear we'll talk about board games, but
Okay.
I think you should give birds a chance.
Okay, well then I went to the Philippines and I had a bunch of tropical birds climb all over my face. I have a picture. I've showed you the picture because I'm like, look how traumatized I look. And it poked me in the eye with this little claw. I was like, oh, why is it doing this? And then it had this like little tongue that looked like a worm. And it was like trying to lick at what it thought was like fruit. And I was just like, oh. It was $1 because it was in Philippine money. Yeah.
The best dollar you've ever spent.
Okay, well, I could have swam with a saltwater crocodile for $10, but nobody would let me. But they let me be attacked by birds. So then, when I was 18, my sister and I had gone to Florida, and she had sunflower seeds, and she was really getting under my skin with those sunflower seeds. So then I took her sunflower seeds, and I went confetti into the air, and then the seagulls, the rats with wings, came, and they were like, caw, caw, and they were taking all of them, and then they started attacking me because they wanted more. If you give a mouse a cookie, it'll ask for milk. That's what happened. Oh. I gave seagulls sunflowers, and it asked for the bag. God.
Honestly, that right then, in the last 5 minutes or so, I've heard more personal stories about birds than most people I've spoken to. But
I do have a hawk. I mean, the hawk died, but I had a hawk in the Philippines. That was pretty cool. I had a Philippine hawk.
Okay, so will you finally accept your love of birds? And I guess that adopting Phillip, your crow son, will be you transcending to the next stage of existence.
I think Phillip
relationship.
I think Phillip realized that he can train me. You know how Lupin trains me?
Yeah.
Like when he wants food, he goes meow and then he pushes my legs to his food dish, you know? Mm-hmm. I think Phillip realized he could do the same thing because this morning he was outside squawking and he has a certain squawk and he has certain feathers and I know it's Phillip. And I was like, Phillip? And then he stayed there and I opened the door and he kept squawking. I was like, oh, it is Phillip, because I haven't seen Phillip in a while. So then I go outside and I was like, Phillip, I will feed you, just wait. So then I go back inside and then I get food and I come back out and he's waiting for me. And then I feed him and then he starts to come closer to me and I was like, is today the day that he eats out of my hand? I almost started crying. My coworkers was like, oh my gosh, she's out there with Phillip. And they were all rooting me on. Again. No. And then he looked at me and he side-eyed me. I was like, oh, he sees the food in my hand. I was like, yes, Phillip, I'm here for you. And then he hawked a few more times and flew away for some reason. And I was
close.
Okay.
It gets closer.
It was a lot closer than he's ever been before. Yeah. And usually he doesn't let me go outside, especially not twice. So that was, I will adopt Phillip.
You sent me the video too and it was touching. So the saga continues. The bird mother. The legendary bird mother of Jester cheer.
Bird mother.
Long live the Jester queen. So, Julie, I think it's about time that we discuss some board games in this week's Tales from the Table, in which we had 2 resummonings from the Jester shelf of cardboard curiosities. We had 5 tribes.
Yes.
And we had Parade.
Correct.
So let's talk about 5 tribes. Because talk about your traumatic past with birds. I had a traumatic past with 5 tribes. And for anybody who isn't familiar with my traumatic past with 5 tribes, we covered the game in season 2.
I think so.
Season 2, I believe.
Yeah.
And so it was part of our 10 by 10 challenge for season 2. I was like, is my memory not serving me correctly? Because I swear this didn't happen. There's no way we did this. But I went back in our play history and we played 11 rounds of 5 tribes in the span of one day. Well, it was 24 hours. We played 10 rounds in one day and then we woke up the next day and then played it an 11th time. Because
you needed to sleep it off.
Absolutely obliterated. I think I won 2 of those rounds of the 11. We got to the end, and that's why I woke up the next day and I was like, we have to play this again. Because I've played it too many times in a row that I feel like my brain was getting fuzzy. I wanted another chance to win, and I still lost. And so it went back on the shelf. I had a good time. I played it a couple times before we even played it together. And over the past year since we played it, it's kept coming back, and I've been wondering, this seems like a game I should be good at. Why did I do so poorly? It's haunted me ever since. And so I wanted to resummon it so we could have a chance to play it a handful more times to see how it would go. And again, not great. Not great for me. Still not good at 5 tribes. But what was your impression of resummoning the game? Like, has your perspective of it changed? How much fun did you have?
I mean, I have fun because I always somehow hide all the green cards. And then you don't recognize or realize
like those market
that I
cards?
have like, that I'm sitting there with a lot of points.
Pile. If you're not familiar with 5 tribes at all, it's this mancala game where you have this whole table of meeple and all these tiles, like a 6x5 grid of tiles. Pick up meeple, you drop them off along the way, wherever it ends up. One color has to match. You pick up those meeple and it lets you do a certain action. You can get like cards from a market that are set collection. You can get points for these blue meeple. You can get these Jin cards that give you ongoing abilities, or there's yellow ones that give you points, and so on and so forth. Get points in a variety of ways. There's also bidding for turn order and stuff.
Yes.
And it starts kind of like wide open. There's this whole endless possibilities where you can just pick up and you can do some pretty powerful big actions at the beginning of the game. And then it progresses and it becomes this like very tactical but excruciatingly difficult decision of what is the best way that I can pick up things and where can I drop it off to get the most points. But why are you so good at 5 tribes and why am I so bad? Why can I just never do well in this game?
I mean, I can't really talk on why you're so bad. I don't know. Well, I guess it's because I've noticed when you play games, you like to, what is the word I'm looking for? Kind of spread out and make sure that you're doing a little of everything. You don't so when there's too much going on, when there's cookies and cream, cookie dough, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, mint, chocolate chip, your array of ice cream.
Yeah.
You have issues picking. You want to sample all of them.
I do. I'm like the person in the line, like, oh, can I try a little bit of this? Can I try a little bit? Which is, I'm not that person in real life when I go somewhere.
No, because I pick for you.
Can you just make a decision for me? This is overwhelming.
But when it comes to 5 tribes, there's all those different options. Like, you could get points from Jin. You can get points from the green cards. You can get points from collecting the yellow ones. You can get points from using like special abilities from the cards. You can get points from the palaces, the oases.
Oh yeah, the palm trees and your camels out there.
Exactly. You go for the big cards, like the 15 pointers, right? So because there's all of those distractions where you get that initial dopamine hit of, I landed on a 15 before you, I got all of the double-digit cards with my camels, I'm sitting for the long run. I'm just like, okay, that's fine. You get your pretty little numbers. Just know that I have about 3 sets right now in my hand.
And the sets are worth so many. I don't have it in front of me, but if you have 9 different cards, what is it, like 60 points or something?
Yeah, it's something
insane like that.
Yeah, and you can get multiple of that.
Yeah,
because that's usually what I do.
You would get like I think one round you got a full set, didn't you?
I usually get a full set,
impossible.
And then I get like miscellaneous ones.
Which is wild because, okay, we've played it now, like 15, 16 times, something like I can't remember, quite a bit. And I've afterward thought about it both times we played it in a row. And I was thinking, is this game, I hate to use the word broken, but it almost seems like if you don't focus on the market cards, you cannot win the game. But then I was like, no, it's not a broken strategy because the cards have to be available from like in the row and everybody can see what they are. So you can make the decision to go and pick up green meeple to get them or land on a space where you're spending money. But then if you're landing on a space where you have to spend either 3 coins for one of the first 3 or 6 coins for 2 of the first 6, coins are worth points at the end of the game. So you're essentially spending 6 points to get 2 cards. So you're making that trade, an investment. And if I'm letting you pick the cards, or if in a round there are 6 different market cards in the beginning of the row, it's kind of a bad move on my part just to let you take that. Like, I should plan to take those because no matter what, that's a pretty decent amount of points at the end of the game.
Like out of the 9 cards? Because you can only get up to 6.
Right.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm saying that...
Well, for if you land on that tile.
It's not necessarily... Market cards themselves is not a strategy. It's a way to get points. But you don't set out at the beginning of the game thinking, like... I know you might. Like, I'm going to get as many cards as I can, but it's a matter of it being an opportunity that's presented, and are you going to take it? It's available to everybody, so I wouldn't say it's a broken strategy. Like, how do you feel about that?
Initially, I kind of thought that it could be, but then after playing it again and really looking at it, I feel like it can't be really counted as one.
You can't do it every game. You could have a whole 9 cards.
And they could all be the bonuses.
The wild one.
Yeah.
And in that case, like, it only gets refreshed if somebody takes cards, so you'd have to, like, take a bunch of cards to refresh the row.
That's usually what I do.
Yeah.
That's why I have so many cards and so many repeats.
You have, like, a stack of cards.
Yeah, because I always just take all of them. I'm like, well, I'll get something somewhere. But you can bid for starting players, so you can spend more points to be first if you see like a big green pile that you could access.
That's true.
So then you aren't wasting more points on purchasing any cards. You're just going to pick up green meeple, and however many you pick up, that's how many green cards you're going to get. And then on top of that, if you empty the card, you can lay a camel down, or if it's a palace, you can lay a palace down. So you can also perform the action that is on the card. So I always found it best to always finish with green, but finish on a card that allowed me to do something different. So I would get cards, and then I would optimize my turn by being able to do something different, whether that's like spend 2 white meeple on a djinn, or get an oasis, or get a palace, or what's that other one? There's one more, right? Oh, or you do... I forgot. Is that all of them?
I think you got them.
Yeah. So I would try to optimize my turn just to make sure that I could have a sampling of everything. And that's why it seemed like I was, doing everything. While you were over there staring at the vanilla.
Well, I think it almost is, and I think Trajan was this way to some extent too. These games are very different, by the way, but I realized with Trajan that it's not so much a matter of picking a strategy and sticking with that strategy for the whole game, but it's a matter of looking at your options and picking the turn or doing the thing on your turn that will get you the most stuff, whether it's bonus actions, whether it's bonus points, and that could fall within any category. So I think my problem in 5 Tribes is I get focused on wanting, I know you said I get distracted by a bunch of things, but usually there's like one thing I really want, and that's djinn cards. I really love the djinn cards because they give you ongoing bonuses, which I love. They give you bonus points for the end of the game. They just feel cool to have in front of you as part of that. And so I found myself in our games almost wasting turns by going and trying to land on a spot that had more of those white meeple. I think they're called elders.
Oh, trust me, I noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
elders.
You went for those.
But what I found myself doing is I would go and do that and then realize, I landed on a spot that doesn't actually benefit me because it's just placing a palm tree here, but I don't have a camel here, so that doesn't really do anything for me. Or it will allow me to purchase cards from the row, but there's no cards that I actually need because I already have that French fry looking thing or I can't remember what they actually are.
The French fry.
So
there's crystals.
I would end up with suboptimal moves in order to get the thing that I was wanting to go for when there could have been a way better chance to do something that would have benefited me more in the long term and would have given me something bonus within that round.
I have noticed if the points are obvious, you tend to go for those high points. I think when points are either shown on the board or you can obtain and it's visible, you're drawn to those a little bit more because of that initial hit of, I got 15 points.
And I'm like, look at that.
Yeah, and that's what happened when we initially played Castles of Burgundy, and you told me that you always beat, like, your family. And when we were playing, you would go up the point tracker way in the beginning. You'd be like, way boom. Up there. Like, and you'd be like 50
how's
points.
How's the weather over there at the other
you're like,
side of the
I'm almost
track.
lapping you. And I would always stay silent because I'm all like, I already did the math. Like, that's fine. You can pretend to lap me, but it's not going to happen.
No, that's really funny.
And then as we played more games of Castles of Burgundy, you slowed down and thought more long term.
I invested in the signs, the yellow tiles that would give you the ongoing stuff.
Exactly.
But that's what I tried to do in this game, was invest in the gin cards that would give you ongoing stuff. Like, I think I won one of the rounds that we played.
You did. You won the first one.
And the way that I won it was I got a gin card that I think it made... What did it do? It allowed me to be able to place...
A camel
on an empty spot or something like that.
On a spot that was taken.
Yeah, and then it allowed... There was another... I chained it with a different one that then let me, like, place a palm tree on a spot.
Yeah.
So it was something like that, where it was like this constant... Every turn I was putting stuff out onto the board, camel-wise, and I almost rushed the game because I got all my camels out really fast. And had, like, a bunch of points from camels. So.
Well, you also grabbed a lot of green cards that round, too.
Yeah.
And so I was just...
You know what it was? It's because that was a form of tableau building. And that's something I'm really good at.
Oh, my gosh.
Any round where I don't have a good ongoing ability that I can benefit from, you win by making more tactically smart moves.
Yeah. And you're just really good at card games. Which leads me into Parade.
Well, I have a question first, because this has been about a year since we played this game.
It has for the year.
So, will this game rise to our shelf of Jester cheer?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, we're still good with 5. Well, you're still good with 5. I think it's a better tell. We were talking, like, the person who wins the least should decide if it stays in our collection, because that shows how much you like it. And I do like this game a lot.
Because if we have guests over, it's one of those games that we could whip out, easy to explain, and it's fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Like, it's very fun. And
colorful.
I feel like this game would be fun for multiple people, not just you and I.
Yeah.
Like, lots of people would like the mancala of the meeples, and then it's bright, it's easy to follow, you collect green cards, do all this stuff. So I feel as if people would be more opt into playing this game as opposed to a lot of other games on our shelf.
Yeah, I think you could teach this to just about anybody. Maybe, like, not like the first game they've ever played, but, like, a couple games in or something. So
yeah, and it's quick.
Yeah, so bless the shelf.
Yeah, bless the shelf.
Yeah,
here,
5 Tribes promoted to the shelf of Jester Cheer, which just means we've had it in our collection at least a year. It's been through a 10x10 challenge. We've revisited it. We still like it. So it's been promoted. And then, as you were saying, with the card game you were excited to talk about, which is something we loved last year when we played it during spooky season.
Yeah.
Which game was that?
Parade, which is this Alice in Wonderland game. Well, it's more so themed Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
But,
which is a public domain now, I realized.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland is, you just can't use, like, Disney's version of Alice.
Right.
But you can use Alice in Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is cool. So, this game... It's kind of tricksy. It's not a trick-taking game.
No.
But it does kind of send you down the rabbit hole on how you do things. So you shuffle a deck. Each individual gets 5 cards. You put the deck on the end, whatever end.
Should be on the far end of the table.
Yeah, the far end of the table.
Out.
And then you lay down about, is it 6 or 7 cards?
6 cards.
6 cards, randomly from the top of the deck. And player 1's chosen. It could be the last one who watched Alice in Wonderland. It could be rock, paper, scissors, roll the dice. I don't know, if you sneeze last.
Last person at a tea party, maybe?
Yeah, last person have tea. That's a better one.
If it's your unbirthday.
Oh, yeah, it's my own birthday.
It's your most unbirthday. Like, whoever's birthday is the furthest from today.
Oh, but every day is your unbirthday.
Yeah.
But I do like your idea. It's cute.
I try.
And then each person places a card at the end of the parade. So if there is 6 cards and you place, let's say, a card that was worth a red 3. If you placed a red 3, you would count inwards on the parade. So you would count 1, 2, 3. And then everything after the 3 would be up to be on your side. So if it's lower than 3, you would grab it from the parade and bring it to your side. If it was red and higher and or lower, as long as the color had matched, you would grab it and bring it down to your side, and then you would push the parade along. Now, let's say that it starts with 6, and you lay down a 7. Well, you're safe. You don't have to worry about it at all, because you would count in 7, and it would go past the parade, so you are safe from grabbing any cards. And the reason I say safe is because the individual with the least amount of points at the end of the game is the winner. But when you're counting points, you organize all of your cards from the parade, into their designated color group, and then you compare colors. So let's say I have 3 reds and Dave has 1 red. I now get to flip my reds over and they're all considered to be 1 point, as opposed to, let's say, they were 10 or 9 or 8.
Which always happens to me.
And so it's a way to kind of subtract. So you have to watch your other opponents to see if you have more of something, or if you don't have any, maybe you just want to not get any at all. It's a quirky game that it tickles my brain.
I feel like it was designed to be wonky, like this Alice in Wonderland topsy-turvy kind of universe.
It's definitely topsy-turvy for sure.
Down to the scoring and everything, and it is cool in a 2-player game. You have to have at least 2 cards more in each color than the other person, in a given color than the other person, to be able to flip it over. So there's a little bit of this psychological battle of trying to figure out which cards you can outdo your opponent and which ones you want to focus on or not get. But then the cool part that I really like too is at the end of the game, you end up with 4 cards in your hand, and then you're going to pick 2 to discard, but then the other 2 go onto your side. So that could be when you throw down that card that gives the majority, and then the other person gets hosed with like a 7 or 8 or something, like high scoring points. But yeah, this is like, I don't know how you feel about this game after giving it a rest for about a year, but this is probably one of my favorite card games, like, of all time. This is really good.
I love this game. I love how it's so wonky and topsy-turvy, and it's difficult to predict what kind of card you're going to get, and it's kind of difficult to predict how the game's going to go.
Yeah.
But you can still mitigate how the game goes too, which is interesting to me.
And it kind of reminds me of, I think I mentioned this when we initially played it, but you hadn't played it yet, but Arboretum. Do you remember Arboretum? Yes. It kind of reminds me of that, because in Arboretum, you score at the end based off of who has the majority in their hands. Mm-hmm. So you don't know what the other person has, and you're trying to, like... Anyway, it is this really cool challenge of balancing what is in your hand versus what you're actually building in front of you, and trying to maybe hoard a card that your opponent needs. Not to go down too much of a rabbit hole with a different game. Parade reminds me of that because of the scoring at the end of the game. And there's something about the negative points, or your goal is to not get points, that it makes you think in a very opposite way than you're used to. So you're doing everything you can and not bringing cards onto your side. But sometimes it's good to do that, just so, like, you have to get cards at some point, so you might as well pick an opportunity to grab some where you know you'll get the majority, or get a 0 card that won't give you any points no matter what, but now you have 1 card in that category, and so that could do something bad to your opponent where they'll have to get points. And
somebody has to have one of every color for the game to end.
Yeah, so you can go to, like, end that quick, or you can push it out longer if you want to. Which I
remember when we played 10 games of it, I tried ending it quick, but I just ended up giving myself lots of points. I was like,
Yeah, you ended the game quick, you ended up with a lot of points, and I think I got like 5, or I think 10 points was my lowest score in this game.
Yes.
I think the highest either of us got was like in the 60s maybe, which is not good. Has your perspective of this game changed at all, or do you think you like it even more? I think
it's the same.
Yeah. I think I even like it more.
Okay.
We've played a lot of games, and there's something that I always really appreciate about a really well-designed card game, and we can play this in 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect game to get out, shuffle. I've never taught this to somebody else before, but it would be cool to play this with like 3 or 4 players, and that way all the cards are constantly moving and stuff.
It'd be like a mad tea party.
Yeah, but I do think it's really, really good at 2 players, so I don't know if it's available or out of print, but I would recommend this to just about anybody, honestly.
I know. Yeah, me too. Like, even kids. I feel like kids would really like it, especially with the characters.
Yeah, it does have a cool cartoonish art, but like almost like dark Alice in Wonderland, you know? Mm-hmm. Which I think is really awesome.
Me too.
So...
Yes, it is the Jester shelf of cheer.
Of Jester cheer. We're promoting it too.
Yeah.
Bless the shelf. Well, thank you for taking the journey of those resummonings this week. And I do come prepared with an offering to the crown, which I'm pretty excited about. You know, we ended Ginkopolis.
Okay.
And had a lot of fun playing that game, and was thinking, like, what do I want to bring out next? And last time we just rolled the D20 to pick one, but I was thinking, you know, we've been talking a lot about a certain topic over the span of I don't know, the last couple seasons especially.
Yeah,
and I feel like I have the perfect game thematically that we're both going to be really into.
Okay.
And so I am going to read you. I had to kind of search the rulebook and the back of the box to find the actual backstory of this game. It doesn't, it's not immediately jump out at you forefront of the rulebook, but it was kind of nestled on the side of one of the setup pages.
Okay.
So I'm just going to read this to you. It doesn't sound like much of a backstory, more of just describing the game. But anytime it says the name of the game, I'll just say this game. And you can try to guess what the game actually is, but more importantly, I'll give you the chance to decide if this is a game that we want to try playing to see if it's one we would invite to the trials of the Jester's Gambit.
Okay.
So here we go.
I'm ready.
In this game, you plan and build a modern, scientifically managed zoo. You build enclosures according to the animal's way of life and support conservation projects to ensure the preservation of animal species. Gathering diverse animals increases the attractiveness of your zoo, advancing you on the appeal track and generating higher revenues. Likewise, careful stewardship of the animals allows you to support conservation projects such as breeding programs that lead to your advancement on the conservation track and corresponding bonuses. These two tracks progress in opposite directions. If your counters meet, the game ends. Whoever achieves the best combination of appeal and conservation has built the most successful zoo and wins the game. Association work in different zoo associations allows you to partner with zoos and universities around the world. Together with specialists and sponsors, they will help you manage the various tasks needed to achieve your goals. So that was the backstory.
That zoo game with the dinosaurs?
Dinosaur Island? Or...
Yeah, is it that one?
No.
It sounds islandy. Like, it sounds like you're building an island.
Wait, where did I talk about dinosaurs?
Well, you didn't talk about dinosaurs, but you can talk about different species. Dinosaurs are an animal. Well, they're against popular belief, I guess. Dinosaurs are... What do you think a dinosaur is? What are you talking?
So, the only thing I'll say about this game is it has a lot of animals, and I think that's pretty cool. In fact, I was opening up the box to see what I would find. I've never played this game before.
Mm-hmm.
Barely know anything rule-wise about it. Glanced through the rulebook briefly. But as I was getting out the cards, there's this huge stack of animal cards.
Okay. You went like this. It looked like a 3-tier hamburger.
Huge. And it was like the first card I flipped over. It felt like almost like a tarot reading. You know, like fate. I flipped over a guinea pig.
Oh my god. I don't know. I feel like maybe you and Mike have been talking or something, and he's all like, ooh, make her play like another animal game. And you're like, oh, guess what? I got the guinea pig. Do I just put it on top and tell her that I flipped it over and there it was? Fate. And he's like, do it. I'll help you.
So, saw a guinea pig, and I thought that was really awesome as well. So, based on everything I've described, would this be a game that you'd be interested in us trying for the Jester's Gambit?
I feel like if I said no, you'd be really sad, because I think you want that guinea pig on your island. I want
the guinea pig really bad.
I'll play it. I don't know what it is, and I guess it doesn't have dinosaurs, but yeah.
It's Ark Nova.
Okay.
Have you heard of that game? Have you seen pictures anywhere?
I've seen pictures. I haven't looked into the game though. See, this is what's interesting. Yes, you and I play lots of games, but when games come up, I don't process it until we play it.
And you're like, oh, I've seen this game.
Because there's been so many times where you say, like, oh, I want to play SETI. I want to play SETI. And then
that's still on
Mike had asked me, he said, oh, Dave will like SETI. And I was like, oh, what's that about? And then I was like, oh, Dave, Mike said you'll like SETI. And then you're like, yeah, I told you that.
Yeah, or Dave, somebody said you should get Civolution. I'm like, I've been talking about this game for weeks.
Yeah.
Still haven't played that yet either. But those are coming up for sure. But Ark Nova is about building a zoo.
Yeah.
And working on conservation projects and
conservation projects.
Yeah,
those are cute.
You have a chance to release animals back into the wild. Oh. Why do you seem disappointed? You're like, no, I want them in my...
Well, no. Have you ever been to, a zoo behind the scenes and ever talked to the, zoologist? Releasing animals back into the wild isn't, Yeah. It's not
Leave it to you to have some dark... It
depends on the animal. If you take it from the wild, then you can release it to the wild. But if it was born in captivity, it's like cats. Like, if I let Lupin go outside, he's gonna get mugged by the street cats. Lulu's like, where's my squeeze-ups? And they're like, there's no squeeze-ups here.
Well, so to answer my question, you said that
yes, we can play.
We can play. Long live the Jester Queen.
You're like,
the court is blessed by your curiosity. I almost forgot that part. That's why I brought up the question again. I would be so depressed if we stopped recording and I realized I forgot that bit, because that's my favorite part.
I feel like you got distracted because you're like, oh great, why did I choose this game? She's going to say something about every animal that pops up.
Yeah, we'll see how many animals you have a specific opinion. I feel like it's going to be ridiculous. Like, every card of that deck, you're going to have a personal story. Like, oh, this ultra specific species that nobody's heard of but a handful of people. Somehow I have personal encounters from my time and whatever. Which is awesome. I love hearing your stories about animals. Well, I'm excited. We should go learn the rules or something and
we should go learn
Ark
the rules
Nova.
or something.
Well, I should go learn the rules.
You'll go learn the rules and then you'll come tell me and then we'll play it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mike, for your query for the court that you provided on Patreon. And thank you, our other Patreon subscribers. Also, if you happen to go to our Patreon, my whale video is still there. Okay? Show it some love. I, made the whale noises exactly when the whale opened its mouth. That took me a long time.
I feel like you're sad because not many people have seen it. So keep me track. Like, nobody's taking my advice. Go look at it, please.
I'm like, I don't even care if you follow us. Just
put it
go
on there for the
look
public
at the whale.
for free.
Yeah.
Just go, please.
Just please go look at it.
Acknowledge my whale video.
Acknowledge my hard work. They're like, wow, she doesn't press this hard about listening to the podcast or YouTube.
She's constantly plugging this.
She's just talking about this whale video. And I'm like, okay, because it's so magical.
If there's a whale in Ark Nova, you're going to be like, and speaking
there's
of
lots
whales,
of different whales, okay? So don't just say a whale.
Okay.
That's like saying
Let it begin.
Lupin's a cat. No, he's a ragamuffin cat. Which he is still a cat. Look, he came in. He was like, ooh, we talking about whales? At least we're not talking about aliens. He'd walk away.
He gets angry
he doesn't
when
like
talking about aliens for some reason.
I don't know. But yeah, so thank you so much for listening to us. It really does mean a lot. If you would like to join the photo side of this board gaming journey, you can find us on Instagram. Our Instagram is thedicejesters. If you have a query for the court, you can either ask, like Mike did, through our Patreon and or through email. Our email is thedicejesters@gmail.com. Or you can also ask through Instagram. If you ask through Instagram, you'll get a hold of me. If you want it more secretive, probably email or Patreon, and you'll get a hold of Dave.
Yeah, if you want to talk guinea pigs, hamsters, all that stuff.
If you want to talk about the...
Conspiring to...
Somebody's going to slip you like a 30 and be like, go get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to ask on Instagram, you're more than welcome to. Our Instagram is dicejesters. But yeah, there you can see photos of the games that we're playing. You can see a breakdown of our 10 plays for our featured games for the Jester's Gambit. And, of course, photos of Lupin, my beautiful baby. And be sure to join us next week as we either discuss a resummoning, a new game, and or maybe Ark Nova's quick. I don't know.
I have no clue.
If there are any games that you recommend, you're more than welcome to let us know about it. Due to us switching up the season structure, we now have time to do games outside of the 10x10, hence these resummoning episodes and these like newcomers to the court.
Random games.
But either way, we just want to have fun. We want you to have fun. We want everybody to feel that board games are for everybody and anybody can play it as long as they give it a try. It's like, if you try it, then you'll like it. You know? The song from those scary creatures that I can't think of the name of. It's not Doodlebop. I can't think of it. And it's not the like Five Guys and it's not Teletubbies. It's something else. I don't remember.
Furbies?
No.
Remember Furbies?
I do remember Furbies. Yeah. I can't remember, but they really creeped me out. I'll have to show you. Anywho, thank you so much for listening to us again. Huzzah, huzzah. And as always, play games with the ones you love.